Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us. I want to extend a special thank you to members of the media near and far, leadership in government, as well as our board. We're here at the MTA headquarters in Palmer, Alaska to celebrate the completion of the AlCan 1 project, Alaska's first all-terrestrial fiber connection to the lower 48. My name is Jessica Gilbert. I'm the PR manager here at MTA, and we are so happy to have you. We're going to kick it off with a message from our CEO, Michael Burke.
Hello, I'm Michael Burke. I'm the CEO at Matanuska Telephone Association, MTA. May 1st, 2019, we made the announcement that through our wholly owned subsidiary, MTA Fiber Holdings, we would begin construction of Alaska's first all-terrestrial fiber optic connection, transitioning through Canada down to the lower 48. Today, I am proud to announce that we have completed this project and the network is active in carrying traffic. Nowadays, more than ever, we realize the importance of bandwidth and connectivity and how much it impacts all of our lives, how we work, play, and do education. This is a network that is going to last decades into the future and will support all of those needs, both of today and into the future, as our technology and other needs continue to evolve. I want to say thank you to all those who helped make this project possible. In particular, I would like to say thank you to Governor Dunleavy to be a part of our announcement for this project, and also to Senator Dan Sullivan, who helped us with some of the permitting to make this all work. The pandemic we have currently happening certainly highlights how important connectivity is. And that is something that MTA continues to strive to do for its membership in so many different ways to ensure that all of them have all of the resources and connectivity that they need to be able to operate in this 21st century environment that we live in. We will continue to work in that endeavor and continue to find ways to advance technology and services to make sure that our areas are cutting edge and are providing the types of services that people need now and long into the future. Thank you very much.
We are so lucky to have such strong leadership here at MTA. We have several other videos to share with you, but first I would like to introduce you to our executive leadership that has been instrumental in the successful completion of this project. We're joined today by VP of Carrier and Wholesale, Francis LaChapelle, Wanda Tankersley, Chief Operating Officer, Michael Burke, Chief Executive Officer, and Eric Anderson, VP of Engineering. You'll have an opportunity to ask some questions live to all of those panelists, so be sure to submit those in the chat box if you haven't already. You have plenty of time to do so. Next, we are honored to have some words from Senator Sullivan.
Hello, everybody, and greetings from Washington, D.C. Now, look, I know we're going through a really challenging time with this unprecedented pandemic, but I also do think when it's time to celebrate important milestones, we need to continue to do that. And that's what we're doing today. I wish I could be there with all of you on this milestone that I've been watching closely for quite some time, the completion of the AlCan 1. Great news for our state, for our country. But we have a lot of very important work to do here in DC, continuing with regard to broadband issues. But this is great news, and everybody should be celebrating. Now more than ever, as we are struggling through these challenges wrought by this pandemic, we understand the deep need for Alaskans to be able to connect. We all in our state need high-speed, reliable broadband for a faster connection, whether to our doctors, teachers, places of work, family, and friends. And it's vital, life-saving even now, particularly now, that we have reliable connectivity across our state. But this project, Alaska's first all-terrestrial fiber connection, is not only about today's challenges, it's about tomorrow's opportunities, which we must also stay focused on. We're going to get through this pandemic stronger and more resilient because of projects like this. Because of terrestrial fiber connections, we can better lure tech companies to set up root right here in the Mat-Su Valley with connectivity that could rival Seattle, San Francisco, and beyond. Why wouldn't they want to come to our state? We're way better than those cities. We all know that the Mat-Su is one of the best places in the on the planet to live. And as you all know, broadband infrastructure also bolsters our armed forces and our military bases, their technological defense capabilities, their redundancy, which is really important in terms of basing. It's something I'm very focused on as a member of the Armed Services Committee and the Commerce Committee. As a matter of fact, I just came out of a hearing where I'm pressing some senior military officials to put more military members and assets, tankers, F-35s in our state. We need the redundancy that this project is bringing, so thank you. It makes us be able to make the case for a military buildup in our great state. So big congratulations to MTA for your vision, for our state, for your hard work, and also a big shout out to the frontline workers who are able to get this done. I love it. Hard work, infrastructure work. It was a big project, and we salute them for helping to lead Alaska into the future. This is indeed an exciting day, an exciting accomplishment, and it's going to pay dividends for us in the future on so many things. So thanks again for all your hard work. Know that my door is always open. Hope to see y'all soon.
Thank you, Senator Sullivan. Your support during this project has been so valuable. We also are lucky enough to have a letter from Senator Murkowski, and COO Wanda Tankersley will be reading that now.
Senator Murkowski writes, "It is with great excitement that I write to congratulate you, the team at MTA Fiber Holdings, and truly the entire MTA community for the landmark achievement AlCan 1 represents. MTA has been delivering innovative technology solutions across an area larger than 9 states since 1953. Considering your legacy, AlCan 1 should be considered just another step in the long history of pioneering efforts to meet the needs of your members. But AlCan 1 is more than just a regional project. It's an infrastructure project of statewide significance. It's a new digital trans-Alaskan pipeline. If the COVID-19 pandemic has taught us anything, it is the importance of redundant, affordable, and secure telecommunications services. Whether it's providing essential services for health and education, or simply the connectivity needed to maintain our precious moments with family and friends in a time of social distancing, this capacity is critical. By establishing a terrestrial connection, AlCan 1 can provide new capacity not just to MTA, but to the rest of the state of Alaska, and can increase throughput as the needs of the Alaskans continue to grow. Thank you for your service and to the entire MTA community for making this achievement possible, and for your service both to your membership and all of Alaska."
Thank you so much for taking the time, Senator Murkowski. Again, your support is so valuable. And to bring it full circle, Governor Dunleavy joined us last year to celebrate the beginning of this project. So we'd love to hear from him now.
1 year ago, I attended the kickoff of the AlCan 1 fiber project in the Mat-Su, Alaska's first all-terrestrial fiber connection from North Pole to Canada. Today, we are able to mark its completion right on time. This project will mean improvements for municipalities, school districts, hospitals, and businesses of all sizes. As all of our internet providers are seeing tremendous demand for internet connectivity, with Alaskans working from home or attending school remotely, this is coming online just in time. Thank you to all of the people that helped make this happen at MTA, their contractors and partners in Canada. There's no telling what new technology will be announced next. But with Alaska's tech companies making advancements like this, I am confident that we'll be on the cutting edge. Thank you all, and have a great day.
Thank you, Governor. We know you've been very busy. We appreciate your time. And next, we have one more letter from Representative Don Young, which will be read by CEO Michael Burke.
To the employees, management, and board of MTA. Since its founding in 1953, Matanuska Telephone Association has worked to serve the varied and unique communications needs of its members in one of America's most demanding climates. With over 10,000 square miles of service area and over 30,000 members, MTA has grown to become one of our nation's largest telephone cooperatives. Throughout hard work, sound financial management, and a commitment to service, MTA has established leadership in its competitive markets and a reputation for reliability even in areas where the cooperative is the only carrier. MTA has now once again gone the extra mile to deliver to its members and the state of Alaska. Through the development of AlCan 1, Alaska now has its first all-terrestrial fiber route connecting us to Canada, the lower 48, and beyond. The investment not only supports geographic diversity needed to support our national defense and industry, but opens up new possibilities for Alaskan families and businesses. The scalability to over 100 terabits per second, AlCan 1 represents the very latest in technology and will deliver service at compelling speeds for decades into the future. With this enduring commitment to its member owners, NTA continues to be an example of the pioneering spirit that all fills the great land that is Alaska. I extend my sincere congratulations to you and your team, and thank you for continuing to think big and prepare for our future, and remain focused in the mission started so many years ago, bringing the world to Alaska and Alaskans to the world. May you forever be Alaskan-born and stayed. Congressman Don Young.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you so much for submitting that. We really appreciate all of the words of encouragement we've received from our government leaders and continue to receive. That concludes our special remarks, but we do have a special video to share with you that celebrates the full project, this groundbreaking project, and you're the first to view it. So we're going to do that next, but I want to do a final reminder that we do have a chat box available for your questions. We'll be going into that live Q&A session here in just a moment. Enjoy the video.
Road systems, power, clean water, all of those are the planks that have to be laid down in a community. And internet and telecommunications has become a fundamental one.
So Alaska was first accessed by ship, then by plane, then by road from the lower 48 through Canada. And now this is the next step. Again, it's tremendous to have Alaska on the forefront, cutting edge of technology.
We're sort of like landscape architects. What they'll do is they'll go plant out a landscape, and they'll plant different types of plants and trees that will grow up over 30 or 50 years and have a particular look to them that when you first plant it and you look at it, you go, I just don't see it, but they do. They kind of have that vision that it'll be a landscape for the future.
This project, Alaska's first all-terrestrial fiber connection, is not only about today's challenges, it's about tomorrow's opportunities.
We all live up here, so we care about the state and we care about its future. We want it to be vibrant and healthy and successful and diversified.
Having affordable, robust, reliable internet like this is going to provide that opportunity. We've done a lot of work out here, one bringing in AlCan 1. We're also doing a lot of work with our MTA Foundation and our scholarships and really investing in technology education. We see that as an important role to our membership and in our community.
We're trying to help keep a vibrant community going that is attractive for future generations. We've got something now that has almost unlimited possibilities from a bandwidth capacity standpoint for the state, and it's just going to be fascinating to watch what the creative minds do with this for the future, how they come up with new ways to use bandwidth that we can't even think about or dream about right now.
Wow, that certainly gets me excited about the future possibilities as an Alaskan. That video, as well as some of the other videos, will be available for download in your press packet, but they'll also be available on our social media channels here at the conclusion of our conference. So be sure to check that out and give us a like. We're going to transition into our live Q&A portion of the conference. So again, you still have time to submit those questions. We have a few pre-submitted questions that were submitted this morning. I'm going to direct these at you, Michael. Why did MTA Fiber Holdings build this network, and what are the benefits for the members?
So MTA, like all telecom carriers in Alaska that are offering any kind of broadband service, have to have some sort of connection down to the lower 48 where the internet actually begins. The closest internet pairing point is Seattle, Washington. And so as a result, in order to be able to continue to offer broadband and to continue to grow broadband services, MTA has to be able to lease capacity from existing carriers down to the lower 48. In this particular case, MTA looked at the economics of building our own connection as opposed to continuing to lease that capacity, and determined that it was really in the members' best interest to do that. Hence the project that we are announcing today that's finally been completed. This is something that ensures that we have sufficient connectivity for all of our members to be able to rely on whatever types of broadband services they may need long into the future. But it also has this added benefit that it also provides really to the whole state of Alaska by now creating a geographically diverse route out of the state that is very scalable and able to grow to meet whatever needs this state may have long into the future.
Thank you, Michael. And another question, how much did this project cost, and how much did it cost to the members of MTA?
This project isn't going to cost any additional dollars as far as the membership is concerned. I mean, currently MTA spends millions of dollars leasing capacity from existing carriers down to the continental United States, down to Seattle, to be able to offer internet. And that cost was only going to increase over time as internet consumption continues to grow. This allows us really to achieve what we call owner economics for that transport long into the future, so that we can over time actually reduce the cost of our internet capacity, or at least keep it from rising beyond levels that would make broadband service unaffordable.
And how is this project helping Alaska?
This project helps Alaska in a lot of different ways. It obviously has a direct benefit for its membership, the co-op membership, in terms of our ability to offer broadband-related services long into the future. But it also has wide-ranging benefits across the entire state. That need for geographic route diversity has long existed. Most of our transport right now runs through undersea fiber optic cables that lead through south central Alaska down to the Pacific Northwest. Having sort of a geographic route that's far removed from that goes terrestrially down through Canada to those lower 48 locations ensures that there's greater reliability for that type of connection long into the future. In the event of an earthquake or other type of natural disaster causing an outage, you're able to reroute traffic over a route that most likely would not be affected and continue to ensure that services are available.
Great. And feel free, if any other panelists want to add on, just make eye contact. What type of customer would be interested in AlCan 1?
Francis, maybe you might be the best person to kind of tackle that question.
Sure, you bet. You know, we're seeing a lot of interest from the U.S. government, both on the civilian and the military side, as they look for a route that connects Alaska to the continental U.S. that doesn't suffer from some of the vulnerabilities of the undersea, existing undersea fibers that are in use right now. We're also getting a lot of interest from telecommunications and content companies in the lower 48 who are looking at this as a new route into Alaska, both for a more cost-effective as well as a scalable path that offers opportunities that they don't have right now. And then finally, we have a lot of interest from local Alaskan telephone companies who are going to be able to use this to offer new and enhanced services to the communities that they serve in a much more cost-effective way. So it's been a busy several months here as we turn this system up.
Thank you, Francis. And who did the work on this project, and how long did it take?
That's a good question. Eric, maybe you might want to address that particular one.
So the project took about a year. It was actually, we started in April 2019 and just now completed here in May 2020. Very remarkable time frame for as much work that was involved. We completed the work as MTA Fiber Holdings with our primary contractor, Alaska Directional, and they, at the peak of the construction, had employed over 70 people just on the one project. It's been a good experience and a very rapid construction process.
Thank you, Eric. We have a couple submitted questions from ADN. Who are our partners on the Canadian end?
We have, really, when you get to the U.S.-Canadian border, we connect directly with Northwest Tel, which provides service in the Yukon Northwest Territories area. And they, in turn, are wholly owned by Bell Canada. So through basically Canadian networks that then go through Canada down to the lower 48, we have various entities that we work with out there. The main partner we really have, though, is Northwest Tel in terms of actually completing the project out of the state.
And continuing on from ADN, Francis, you hit on this a little bit, but maybe you could expand. Do you plan to offer service along the AlCan 1 route?
That's a really great question. Actually, we will be a wholesale provider along that route. So we're working with the telephone companies who are registered incumbent phone companies in those areas. And we're talking with them now, and we've been working with them, frankly, for the last year or so to figure out how they can use our network to provide services that they currently provide in some other fashion that is going to work in a much more cost-effective manner.
Thank you. And again, from ADN, do you envision this fiber to be used by MTA only, or do you plan to lease capacity to other Alaskan providers? You kind of already touched on that, but if there's any extension you'd like to give?
Yeah, no, this is definitely a system that we want to make available to any and all companies that want to use it. We expect that we will be selling both to Alaska telecommunications companies as well as to lower 48 telecommunications companies as well. We anticipate having both enterprise and other telephone companies on this system.
Thank you. And common question, because we were so proficient at this project, how long did it take to get permitting?
Yeah, permitting, maybe Eric, I'll let you go ahead and kind of touch on this a little bit.
Yes, so permitting is always a challenge on projects, particularly a large project like this, having to deal with a lot of different entities. For the most part, permitting was not a problem. It actually went very well. But there was a couple of items that it took quite a bit of effort. We were well over a year in getting the permitting we needed, and it definitely had, at one point, put some jeopardy in the timeline. And it was really our congressman who really helped us out in getting some movement on that permitting process.
Thank you. And we have a question submitted specifically for Ms. Wanda Tankersley. What is the benefit for MTA members?
One of the beauty of AlCan 1 is exactly what Michael mentioned, which is its owner economics for our members. And when we built this project, it was specifically for our members, which, we range from Eagle River all the way up to Fairbanks. And we wanted to make sure that we had long-term price stability for our members as their use increased. So rather than leasing, as Michael discussed, we now own it. We also wanted to ensure that we could have the quality standards that we wanted. So rather than relying on other entities to decide upgrades to aging networks, we took that control back, that owner economics. So really this project was built with them in mind and was our primary purpose.
Thank you. It looks like one final question from ADN. Does AlCan 1 have capacity to serve Yukon customers as well? My understanding is that capacity is very limited there.
I think, in terms of our particular service, we're concentrated obviously in our area and on the U.S. side. There was fiber that was constructed over in the Canadian side by Northwest Tel that probably wouldn't have otherwise happened, and that will allow them to deliver service from essentially Haines Junction to the border to areas that probably were dependent on satellite right now. We're not actually going anywhere into Canada to provide any particular services, but certainly this project helped develop fiber in areas that otherwise it probably would never have been built, which will provide some benefits to folks in Canada. Just like as Francis indicated, on the U.S. side, now we've created connectivity into some of these communities along the Alaska-Canada highway between Fairbanks and the border that otherwise probably would not have ever been connected with fiber because there just wasn't a business case to do that.
Thank you. And a follow-up question from ADN. They are looking for any more information you're able to provide on the cost of the project. They heard that it is MTA self-funded, but they're wanting to know if you can dig a little bit more.
You know, we have agreements with our Canadian partners that really make the information confidential as far as the total cost of the project, but it was actually pretty economical compared to other types of long-haul fiber projects that have been built in the past.
And finally, did we see any delays due to the current pandemic?
I don't know, Wanda, you want to maybe touch on that?
You know, we did run into a few there towards the end, and Eric and his team were able to work with some of our providers, Sienna and some of our other telco providers, that really helped us get access quickly and worked through them.
Great, something to be proud of for sure. Looks like that concludes the questions that we have out there. I want to give each of our panelists just an opportunity if you have anything else that you'd like to say during this session.
Yeah, I'd just like to add that MTA was really proud and excited that we were able to get this project off the ground and running and completed in a fairly short period of time. We think that it really provides great long-term benefits to our membership and to the state as a whole. It's the type of infrastructure investment that the state really needs this time, and it really will help with our economy long into the future as technology continues to develop. So we're really very proud, and I just want to say thank you to all of our partners and all of our employees who really helped to make this project possible, and also to our congressional staff who also helped us along the way as well.
Thank you all. Well, that concludes this portion of the conference. In your press kit, you'll find some information. If you would like some one-on-one interviews, you can request that there. And as I mentioned, all of the videos will be available for you to download and on our social media channels. And I just want to say that MTA, as the employees, we are not only proud and excited, but we're really anxious to see what you as Alaskans do with this connectivity. Thank you so much for joining us.